local all morning. The Fox 61 Morning News starts now.
And right now at 6 o'clock, a building collapsed in Meriden. Crews spent most of the night trying to tear the rest of it down. We'll tell you what we know from the scene and why it collapsed in the first place.
Plus, new details about mercury poisoning in New Britain. Not only were kids taken to the hospital, but several people are now out of their home because of the danger.
Also, premium pay for essential workers, what you need to know about applying and what it could mean for your wallet.
Good morning, sunshine. 6 o'clock on a Friday Eve. We are closer to the end of the week.
There.
Yeah, I hope you're feeling good on this Friday Eve. I'm Symphony Privet in for Erica this morning.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Let's get right over to the other members of our broadcast team, and we're going to start with meteorologist Rachel Piscatelli. Good morning to you. What's going on?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, so right now, mostly cloudy skies out there. Slightly still on the humid side yet again, but we will likely see the humidity continue to fall over the weekend. Looking overall pretty pleasant. Right now, Hartford City camera showing those mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures this morning right around the 72 degrees in the capital city. Dew points are up, though, in the upper 60s. Closer to Windsor Locks, it's a bit more comfortable, so the further inland you go, we just need a surge to get that drier air to really work its way into the state. We'll likely see that late tomorrow afternoon. Winds are right now calm, so overall pretty pleasant. In the meantime, mostly cloudy skies on the satellite and radar. You'll notice that just off to our south and west, there's this cluster of showers and thunderstorms continuing to work just past New Jersey near Atlantic City at the moment. We're going to potentially see a chance for those scattered showers this morning. I think the best chance to see that going to be in southeastern Connecticut, and even southern Connecticut will likely see that along the immediate shoreline. We'll see some sprinkles through the morning commute. By noontime, though, we're starting to see that sunshine emerge. Highs expected to make it into the 80s, upper 80s for our inland locations, just around 88 degrees in Hartford, 83 degrees in Torrington, and along the immediate shoreline, upper 70s to right around 80 to 83 degrees. New Haven, 83, 82 in Bridgeport. As we go through time, the weekend forecast looking gorgeous. We'll talk much more about that. And then we also are tracking a pattern change heading into next week, which could bring us some much needed rainfall. Details on that next. Lauren, we'll send things over to you.
Good morning, Rach. Good morning, everyone. 6:02 here in the CTDOT Traffic Center. Been a relatively quiet morning now that construction has, for the most part, wrapped up across the state on the major highways. We do still see some pockets of heavy volume just due to some localized construction, but overall, things aren't looking too bad. Let's take a look out in the Hartford area. I-84 eastbound New Britain Ave to the Hartford Tunnel will take you a little extra time. We're also seeing some delays on the eastbound side of I-84 over in East Hartford, out near Rentschler Field. Let's take a look at our Hartford drive times. Like I said, 9184 moving just fine. A little bit of delay coming into the capital city on 84. Route 2 looking good there. Glastonbury to the Founders Bridge. Live look out in Wethersfield, 91 north and southbound looking good this morning. And now on Jennings Road, things are looking good in Hartford. I-91 down in Fairfield. We have been starting to see that light to moderate volume on the southbound side of I-95, but overall things are looking good. And lastly, in New Haven, things are moving freely. We'll check in again coming up in the next half hour. But for now, guys, I'll send things back over to you. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, in Meriden, crews spent most of the night demolishing a vacant building after its roof collapsed earlier in the day. And the demolition was slow and cautious because they didn't want to damage any neighboring buildings. They had plans to evacuate the area if necessary, but it wasn't. And there are no reports of anyone getting hurt in the demolition. But we do want to show you some video from earlier in the day yesterday. The building had been unoccupied for a while, and it was being renovated when you can see the roof caved in. If we learn more about the situation, we'll get you updated on air and through our app.
New details now about mercury poisoning in New Britain. 7 people are without a home and 2 children are still in the hospital this morning after that poisoning. Deep officials say a child found a jar of silver-colored liquid at a home on Hatch Street and started playing with it. A reminder this morning, health experts and chemists say mercury is a unique metal and it's highly dangerous. Deep has condemned the home, saying it found around 600 times the permissible limit for human exposure to mercury inside that home. And police in Enfield are continuing to investigate a homicide this morning. A man's body was found on the town green inside a gazebo early Wednesday morning, and we brought that to you as breaking news. The town manager says the man was a member of the town's homeless population. He's identified as 55-year-old Christopher Kennedy. A person walking by spotted the man's body and called police. Right now, police haven't named a suspect. If you have any information, call police.
Frontline workers in our state are getting a big thank you from the state through a $30 million fund.
Yeah, it's called the Premium Pay Program. And this morning, Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc is joining us live in the studio to explain how this all works. Good morning, Julia.
Hi, good morning to you both. Yeah, this money will go toward those who were deemed essential throughout the pandemic and have never stopped working. We're talking about people like our healthcare workers, daycare workers, grocery store employees, and more. The program is run by the state comptroller's office, and there's a couple of requirements in order to apply. So let's go through those right now. They have a total of $30 million to spend all across the state, and people who earn less than $100,000 a year could get up to $1,000. People who are part-time workers could get $500, and those who earn more than $100,000, going up to $150,000, they will be getting less than $1,000. Now, this is only for private sector employees. This is the state's website that they have where you can go to this site and apply right now. It is not for federal or state workers, and the deadline to send in that application is October 1st. But the comptroller says the money will not be given on a first come, first served basis because the program had a soft launch last week, and already 30,000 people have showed interest. So she says, please be patient. Take a listen.
If demand exceeds the fund, payments will be adjusted proportionally so everyone gets the same treatment. So another key point I think that we need to emphasize about this is that this program is not a first come, first served program.
Now, the comptroller says those who are selected should see their checks come in the mail within 60 days of that October 1st deadline. And once again, since this was a soft launch, the comptroller also says that you may have had some troubles on the website when you tried to apply earlier this week. She says those should all be resolved by the time the full launch happens tomorrow. I'll send it back to you guys.
Okay, thank you so much, Julia.
Already at 6:07 this morning, we're following up on our primary coverage. Now, we do know voter turnout for Tuesday's primary was low, even compared to previous years. Now, political experts are talking about the future of primaries and other elections in the state. About 15% of registered Democrats and about 21% of registered Republicans voted, and those numbers are down from 17% and 25% in 2021 and 35% and 23% back in 2020. In Connecticut, only people registered with the party can vote in their primaries. Some are advocating for that to change, arguing it's among the reasons why we tend to see such few people show up for primary elections.
The primaries are taxpayer funded, private primaries, where only those in the parties can vote. And that excludes the largest block of voters in the state, the unaffiliated voters. Having a primary in August in the middle of summer vacations is ludicrous. I mean, if the parties really wanted to have big turnout, they would change it to a time when more people would be in Connecticut and able to get to the ballot box.
Yeah. But the Connecticut Citizens Action Group says it's hopeful the election in November will see much higher numbers.
All right, as parents look at affording back to school supplies, some districts are trying to make sure there's enough bus drivers for the first day of classes. And there's only a few weeks left to make that happen.
Fox 61's Tony Black spoke with one transportation company on what parents should expect for this new school year. Take a look.
We're in a better position than we were about a year ago, so we're very optimistic.
Summer break is coming to an end for kids across Connecticut. It'll mean morning bus stops and afternoon drop-offs when the yellow buses roll back into your neighborhood.
We're anticipating that we'll have fewer issues than we have had in the past.
Stephen Gardner is with All-Star Transportation, serving 40 towns, mostly in Litchfield County. They have over 800 school bus drivers and would like up to 75 more.
That would put us in a more comfortable place than where we are now.
Many bus drivers retired or left in 2020 when kids were remote. Then it was difficult to restaff when classes went back in person. He says the company is growing to pre-pandemic levels.
My gut feeling is that a lot of people are getting tired of being at home.
The doors on the bus driver shortage shortage are still nowhere close to being shut. South Windsor Public Schools sent families a notice saying it'll impact this year too. Quote, unfortunately, the situation has not improved. The district is anticipating there will be continued issues, it read. The district goes on to say families can help by becoming a bus driver themselves or encouraging others to, and letting the district know if the students will be transported another way.
We appreciate the patience of the parents and the school districts.
Gardner says they've cut routes as parents continue to drive kids. He says there could be times where they hit a speed bump, even though that's hard to predict. The Connecticut School Transportation Association says their member companies are still looking to hire 1,000 drivers. Driver Recruitment Week just wrapped up, which the association says, quote, thankfully resulted in an uptick in driver applications, but we still need many, many more. Gardner says they've also seen retirees taking the driver's seat.
They really are looking to remain a part of their community.
Well, you can read the sign, School Bus Drivers Wanted. If interested, he says reach out to your local school bus company, and while you won't be ready to take the kids to and from class when they resume in a couple weeks, he says it won't be long before you're behind the wheel. In Waterbury, Tony Black, Fox 61 News.
Tony, thank you. Great report.